Welcome back. In this step, what we'll do is we'll write a simple method to delete the course. The method which we want to write is public void deleteByID long id. So that's the one which we would want to write. How do we delete a course? Again, entity manager comes to your rescue. The easiest way to delete a course is by saying entity manager dot remove your entity. However, I would want to first be able to get the entity for this ID. What I can do is I can call the find by ID. So first I would get the entity mapped by that specific thing. So course is equal to find by ID em dot remove course. That's basically your code, right? So that's how you delete a course. I've not written it back. We'll leave it at void. So it's em dot remove course. All that I need to do is get the course and say entity manager dot remove course. What we'll do now is we'll try and delete this course at this startup. So demo application, what I'll do here is over here, as soon as I print the course, I'll also try and delete it. So I'll say repository dot delete by ID 10,001. So what we are doing is application startup, we are deleting 10,001. And also what I'll do is I'll add a little bit more data. So in the data.sql right now I just have one row. Let's add a few more rows so that I can see the other ones as well. 1002, 1003. So let's say Spring in 50 steps, Spring Boot in 100 steps. You can have microservice code or whichever one you would like. I love all my courses. Now I would want to actually launch up the web application. So I'm launching up this one, right click, demo application, right click, run as Java application. One of the things you should be cautious from now on is because we'll be writing unit tests and also running the application in parallel, you should be careful about what you are running. So if you go in here, you can see actually that these are the tests. So if you want to run a test, then you can choose this. If I want to run the application itself, I would choose demo application. So I would want to run the application. So I'm running demo application now. We would start by looking at the log and then we would look at the console. Oops. You can see that I'm getting an exception. It's saying no entity manager with actual transaction available. You're trying to manipulate data. You're trying to remove a course, but you're trying to remove it in a method which does not have any transaction around it. What is this transaction? Why do we need a transaction? Don't worry about it. We'll talk about transactions a lot more. All that you need to know is the fact that Spring makes transaction management very, very easy. So the problem is that the delete by ID is trying to delete a course. It's trying to make a change in the course details. If you look at the find by ID, it is just getting the details of the course. So it does not have a problem. But the delete by ID method, what it's doing, it's actually trying to remove a course. It's trying to delete a course. It's trying to make a change in data. If you are trying to make a change in data, you should do it within something called a transaction. For example, there are a sequence of steps, right? So if I'm transferring some amount from my account to my friend's account, there might be two steps, right? First, deduct the balance from my account and transfer the balance into my friend's account. I'd want to make sure that both of these are successful. If the second step fails, then I would want the first step to be reversed. I don't want to be in a situation where 100 rupees is removed from my account, but it's not credited to my friend's account. I don't want to be short by 100 rupees or dollars or euros, whichever currency you would want to use. That's what transaction management enables us. We have a detailed section on transaction management a little later. Spring really makes it easy to manage transactions. All that you need to do is say at transactional. I'm importing org Spring Framework transactional in here. Later we would talk about the difference between JPA and the Spring transactions as well. For now, I'm adding a transactional on the course repository. This would ensure that any change that is done, any method that is present in the course repository, any public method, this would act as the start and the end of the transactions. This entire thing would be running in a single transaction. So if anything fails, everything that is changed as part of this method will be rolled back. Let's now run this application. Cool. The application has started up fine right now. So let's see what query was the last one fine. You can see that the delete query was fired. Delete from course where ID is equal to what is the ID that was sent? 10,001. And it says that there were specific amount of time was spent executing that statement. That's cool, right? So first what it does, it tries to select the course and then we are trying to delete it. That's the code, right? So find by ID, this executes the select, and then this executes the delete. Let's see the data. Let's refresh our browser H2 console, connect again. Let's go to the course, run. You can see that 10,001 is no longer there because that's deleted. In this step, until now, what we have done is we wrote a simple delete method. We executed that from our application. Next, what we would want to do is we would want to write a unit test for that. In the next step, let's work on that. Until then, bye.